Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, max out your savings. The more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Plus, get free home delivery on any smart bed with base. Limited time. Check it out at a Sleep Number store near you or at sleepnumber.com today.
AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing, not only in Baton Rouge, but all over Louisiana. We're here at Court to Table on Burbank in Baton Rouge. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Muse Paul back in studio. Alondra on site with us. We had a little bit of a scheduling snafu. So Gordon McKernan is joining us on site. He went to studio. So miscommunication. So Gordon's hauling here to Court's Table from studio. So give him about 15 minutes. He'll be with us in the next segment. We'll look forward to having our convo with Gordon as soon as he can get over here from studio. So that's a bummer. Communication matters in life. When we started the show, we were talking about we started the show talking about President Dr. Wade Roos, the sort of the misstep yesterday, which created a big firestorm. He owned it, and they're moving on now, and that's fantastic news. And Verge is the AD and all that stuff. But this is I said it in hour one, like it happens to all of us all the time. Mistakes happen. And so we had a miscommunication there. We'll have Gordon on site. I am very much looking forward to having Gordon with us here because we had a lot of ground to cover. So we'll keep him for a couple of segments, provided he's got the time to do it. But I'm very much looking forward to having Gordon because, look, I mean, he is a central figure in LSU athletics. He is one of LSU's biggest boosters, donors, contributors, and he certainly has a relationship with Brian Kelly, Scott Woodward, Verge Osbury. I mean, all of the particulars as these dominoes have fallen here in the last week and a half. He's very familiar with the inner workings of all of it. I'm looking forward to having Gordon with us. So this is a great resource. We can have this conversation. So be patient. Give us about 10 minutes as Gordon jets over from downtown Baton Rouge here to Court to Table. Thankfully, it's not far. You just right down Burbank to get to Court to Table. So Gordon will be here in just a smidge, and we'll have him on, and we'll look forward to that. All right, it is after further review. A couple of things while let me just sort of check a few boxes here to get through this segment till Gordon can get here. Two things in particular. At the end of last hour, I shared with you that LSU President Dr. Wade Roos has issued, I guess, his first public statement since his, well, I shouldn't say his first public statement. I guess issued his statement since the quotes that yesterday got into a little bit of hot water. He has a photo of he and Verge Osbury on the field at Tiger Stadium. This is on the LSU president's social media accounts. On Twitter, it's at LSU president. The quote is, or the tweet reads, "I just had a terrific meeting with LSU's AD Verge Osbury. I can't wait to get to work with him and our world-class athletic department. Now let's go beat Bama this weekend. Go Tigers." Very clearly, that is designed as a vote of confidence, saying definitively, yes, Verge Osbury is the athletic director at LSU. We, over at LouisianaSports.net this morning, reported with a few quotes from a representative of the LSU president's office speaking on behalf of Dr. Roos, effectively acknowledging the mistake in the wording yesterday, calling Verge the acting athletic director and saying, could make that decision in 8 hours. It was, if we're just being very honest with what that was, which is very clear now, it was Dr. Roos being unprepared to answer that question. And it wasn't a press conference setting. He was at an event at UNO. The reporter walked up to him and asked him about many things, one of them being Verge is the athletic director and removing the interim tag, and he just wasn't prepared to answer that question. And that's a lesson learned the hard way. It created a firestorm on his first full day there after being appointed, and that's unfortunate it happened that way. But again, as I said, now we're one that I'll reiterate here. I respect the humility to say, I screwed up. Here's what I should have said. Here's the decision, and we're moving on. So respect very much that, and hopefully now that allows LSU the ability to move on, which for Verge Osbury and this committee, it's the most important thing for them and the ability to move on in a coaching search. And to have candidates interested in this job, it's going to take an outward show of stability. Listen, I've been asked a ton, is all of this drama over the last week and a half, and certainly the last week that started with the governor last Wednesday, is that affecting LSU's coaching search? Well, I don't think there's any reason or any doubt that one of the reasons they moved quickly to remove the interim tag on Verge was because of the coaching search. If LSU wasn't hiring a football coach, they probably wouldn't have had to move so quickly to remove that interim tag, or felt that they had to move so quickly. Or Verge very likely would have gotten the job anyway, but I think that's certainly a component. It's naive to think otherwise. But, I also look at how this is going and being able to move forward. There's a lot of variables therein that need to be considered. Like, for example, I look at how this contract for whoever the new coach is going to be, how that's going to be structured. Think of it in these terms. Verge Osbury has assembled this committee to hire the new coach. It's Verge, and then there's 5 other people. We now know that Dr. Roos is the 5th person, but who he mentioned was Scott Ballard, the chairman of the board, John Carmouche, the head of the athletics committee on the board, and then Ben Bordelon, who played football at LSU. His 2 sons played LSU, and he's the CEO of Bollinger right now. Massive company. And then E.J. Kuiper, who's the president CEO of the FMOL health system, of which Our Lady of the Lake is a part. Keep in mind, that's a $4.5 billion health system. This man is the president and CEO of a $4.5 billion company. Okay? So when I think about why those people are on this committee, and you might think, well, what do any of them know about hiring a football coach? And that may not be off base. That's true. To the best of my knowledge, none of them have gone through the process of hiring a football coach. Now, Dr. Roos has been the president at McNeese. Did he have any involvement in hiring of coaches there with Heath Schroyer, the AD? I don't know. He can answer that question later. But, think of it this way. When you are the head of a major organization, you have dealt with hiring and firings and gigantic contracts, both with employees and with third parties, and you manage massive organizations. LSU is depending on how the revenue goes this year, is going to be north of maybe close to $300 million revenue business this year. And LSU football is the biggest piece of that. So when you're trying to hire a football coach and work out a contract that is going to be agreeable, when the governor said, look, we're not doing 10-year deals anymore with giant buyouts, well, how do you structure a deal and negotiate a contract and convince someone to take your job when there's all these variables in place? Well, having someone involved in those conversations that consistently has those types of conversations in the business world can be critically important to help negotiate those contracts and structure a deal that makes sense based on the experience they've had in structuring multi-million-dollar deals. So I think it's very smart how they've built this team, how Verge has built this team around him. Listen, I think we all understand Verge Osbury knows football. He played football at LSU. He's been an LSU athletics administrator for a quarter century. He's been part of 4 football coaching hirings. Now he's going to lead this one. Like, he's been through the process. He'll manage it. I think the biggest question with this hire is the money and the timing. I think we can all agree that Lane Kiffin would be a great hire. Can you get the money right? Will the timing work out with him potentially leading his team to the playoff? And if the answer to those is no, okay, well, what direction do you go then? Are you looking at Eli Drinkwitz? Are you making a run at John Summerall? If you are, sounds like you're going to have competition with Auburn. So I guess all this to say, there's a ton of variables mixed into this to making this hire. And it was so important to eliminate self-imposed hurdles, which LSU had done by mutually agreeing to part ways with Scott Woodward, creating ambiguity with who was not only going to be making the hire, but who ultimately would be that person's boss. And then the semantic firestorm of the last 24 hours or so, like, you needed to eliminate the self-imposed restrictions. And I think LSU did that today. They did that today with Dr. Roos making the comments that he did, with officially naming Verge now as LSU's athletics director with no ambiguity. And it allows Verge to lead this search with that committee and have real open conversations and dialogue with agents, representatives, coaches about what direction they're going to move forward. And yes, the benefactors that are ultimately going to pay the contract for the next coach. One of which will likely be sitting by me here in a few minutes. All right, we're at Court's Table, and we're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Love telling you about Supper Club, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. It's Thursday, y'all. Get the weekend started off right. It's 5:13 in the evening. If you're knocking off of work, like, if you're in Baton Rouge, don't go home. Go to Supper Club. Matt don't have a reservation. That's okay. Always open seating at the bar. 14 bar stools, 7 bar tables. Pop on into Supper Club. Have dinner right there. Enjoy cocktail, glass of wine. Maybe you have clients in town. Bring them to Supper Club. There's no better place to go celebrate an anniversary, celebrate a birthday, celebrate anything, to entertain a client, to close some business. It's just the best place where you're going to have the most phenomenal meal and experience anywhere. It's Supper Club. Stone crabs are in at Supper Club, and they are fresh. They buy directly from the fishermen. So literally in the water yesterday, on your plate at Supper Club today. That's Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com for your reservations. SupperClubBTR.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Glad you're aboard with us here on this Thursday edition presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. I'm going to knock out a quick break. Hopefully when we come back, Gordon will have made it over here. Apologize for the confusion there, but Gordon McKernan set to join us here at Court's Table just as soon as he can get over from downtown Baton Rouge. So Gordon will be with us just as soon as he can be, and we'll have Gordon for the remainder of the show. We'll talk all these things that we've been knocking around here over the last 10 days or so. We'll get to that as we continue here on AFR.
AFR.
Hey, we're brought to you by Darren James & Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. One of the great things I tell you all the time about working with Darren, there are 1.5 million realtors in this country. 1.5 million. Wall Street Journal every year puts out its Real Trends list of the top 1% of realtors in America. Darren James, number 14 on that list. Understand, 1.5 million realtors in the country. Darren James, right here in our market, number 14 in the country when it comes to the transactions, the number of homes closed. And oh, by the way, let's say you're moving out of state. Darren has a network whereby he can sell your home here and refer you to a realtor in the new place where you're moving that offers the same level of service that he does. So you benefit on both sides of it. It's Darren James. Agent225.com, agent225.com. You need to sell your home. You need Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
All right, glad to have you with us here. We're at Court's Table in Baton Rouge on Burbank. Great spot, man, to come hang out. They got tailgate. Love you, too. They got tailgate to-go packages. If you want to get your food for your tailgate, you can get it here. And also the LSU-Bama game on, so LSU-Bama watch party here at Court's Table. If you've not been to Court's Table yet, 10 out of 10 recommend. The food's outstanding. If you love to play pickleball, you can rent the courts here. Or if you just want to come hang out, have a great meal, watch your favorite sporting events, the Funky Pickle, which is the giant bar area that they have with bar, lounge areas, cornhole, shuffleboard. It's amazing. Like, it's such an incredible venue for Baton Rouge. If you've not been, if you're coming into town, like, make plans to come spend part of your football Saturday or any day here at Court's Table. We actually have at Guarantee, we have our company-wide quarterly meeting here next week. So it's a great spot here at Court's Table on Burbank. All right, it is After Further Review. While we wait on Gordon, we keep checking through a lot of the potential coaches whose names keep getting brought up in coaching searches. And I get it's super odd that it's LSU Bama week, and we're not talking LSU Bama. But it's just the nature of it. The coaching search is commanding more attention, and rightfully so, than the game and what feels like to many a lost season. So, but every time a coach whose name has been mentioned goes on the record, we're going to talk about it. We did with Dan Lanning when he was on the Rich Eisen show and said point blank in no uncertain terms, I'm not leaving Oregon. Lane Kiffin has given his non-denial denial. Kenny Dillingham is giving his non-denial denial. Well, it's Brent Key's turn, and I don't know how much of a target Brent Key would be for LSU. I'm not saying he won't be a target for LSU. I think Brent Key has done an incredible job at Georgia Tech. I mean, he had him until last week with their first loss in the top 10 in the country. So I absolutely think that's a name worth keeping an eye on. And as a matter of fact, as I look at the odds that were put out, Brent Key at plus 1,400 was behind Joe Brady, John Summerall, Lane Kiffin, James Franklin, Eli Drinkwitz, Clark Lee. I mean, there were 6 names ahead of him before Brent Key, and he was ahead of Jimbo Fisher, Jeff Brom, Marcus Freeman, Kenny Dillingham, and Dan Mullen. So take these names for what they're worth and the betting odds and all that stuff. But Brent Key's name's on the list, and so Brent Key, the Georgia Tech coach, was asked about his name popping up for all these head coaching jobs. This was here on Thursday. Here's what he said.
Since I came back here, since I was named the head coach here, Kelly, outside of the time with my family, every waking second of my life is going towards building this program to get to the point that it is right now. So that in turn we can continue 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, continue to elevate this place. Right, to be in that conversation, not to be in there for 2 or 3 weeks, but to be a consistent team. Not when you lose one game, people say, oh, the storybook's over. Nah, it's just beginning. I could go on and on. I could say yes, no, all that crap. Slice me open and see what colors I bleed.
All right, Muse, let's play the game. Brent Key, what type of answer was that?
Matt, that was Brent Key with one of the better non-denial denials I've ever heard.
In fact, it was a non-denial denial. That's amazing, man. My goodness, Brent Key. I mean, he said a lot without saying a damn thing. Cut me open, see what colors I bleed. Every waking moment has been dedicated to building the program. We lose a game, it's over. No, it's just beginning. Yeah, but Coach, are you interested in other jobs? It is worth noting that for Brent Key, he's from Birmingham. He played at Georgia Tech, so he is coaching at his alma mater. It's interesting when you talk about guys like Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State, Brent Key at Georgia Tech, Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. These are guys that are coaching at their alma mater. It's not to say nothing could ever uproot them out of out of that, but it certainly feels like that would be a tough pull. But Key is one of those guys that in this era that I sort of talk about makes a lot of sense, man. He's 47. This was his first head coaching job. He was the interim at Georgia Tech, who had the interim tag dropped and got the job full time. He was a GA at Georgia Tech. He coached at Western Carolina, at UCF with a bunch of different roles. He was the offensive line coach at Alabama before going back to Georgia Tech as the associate head coach, and then now, of course, is the head coach. And overall, he's 26-17, and you can see from taking that job over in 2022 as the interim, when they went 4-4 during his interim stint, 7-6, 7-6, and now boom, 8-1. Trending toward an appearance in the ACC championship game and a possible playoff appearance. So he is built there now in his third full season as the head coach at Georgia Tech. But a denial there from Brent Key, and another one worth potentially keeping an eye on. We have kept an eye on all of these coaching searches over at throughout the SEC, and it looks like there might be some movement on the Arkansas job. I'll get to here in just a quick second. Remember, love telling you about South Point Volkswagen and southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. southpointvw.com. They're open late, so even if you're knocking off work right now, you've been thinking about that new vehicle, great opportunity to get by South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland, southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com, where you can shop them online at South Point Volkswagen. Shop your vehicle online, check out all the features that you're looking for, narrow it down. You can even work out financing. It's so easy the way they have it set up to where, like, for example, when Eric and I have bought or leased vehicles over at South Point, I mean, I'll walk in. I mean, it's 5 minutes signing paperwork and you're out the door. It's not like a day-long process anymore. They've got it down to a science. Brad and the whole staff over there on the business side of things do it so well, and all of their sales staff are so approachable. When you deal with Volkswagen, it's about fun, buying experience. They're the best. It's South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? So it sounds like, as we've talked about the SEC jobs that are open, Arkansas was the first, followed by Florida, LSU, and now Auburn. And it looks like Ryan Silverfield, I don't know if this is out there on Twitter or anywhere yet, but I'm getting texts now that it sure seems like he is going to be the Arkansas coach. And it looks like this may happen soon, like maybe as early as tomorrow. So that if that does happen that way, then that would be the first big domino to fall here in the SEC. But then, of course, as the coaching carousel spins, when one job is filled, then another job opens. So hypothetically here, if Silverfield is the guy at Arkansas, it appears based on the text I'm getting, it sounds like that is about as close to a done deal as it could be. It might even be announced tomorrow. But if that does happen, then Memphis would open. So then you start to see how that carousel spins and more jobs start to open up. But he's been at Memphis there since the COVID year as the head coach since the COVID year. Was an assistant from 2016 through 2019, became the head coach in 2020 in the COVID year, and has been there ever since. So he's 45 years old, man. Got started on his in his coaching career early. But as a head coach there at Memphis, 50-22, 27-18 overall. And he's had a 10-win season in 2023. They were 10-3, then 11-2 last year. They're 8-1 right now. So, and obviously beat Arkansas in the Liberty Bowl earlier this year there in Memphis. So keep you posted there. But it looks like we could have movement on one coaching vacancy being announced tomorrow. So we'll see if that does actually happen. And there is a letter in my inbox right now that just came into the inbox. It's a letter from LSU Athletics. It's a letter from Verge Osbury, confirming him as the athletic director. Very quickly, I'll read it. We'll break and we'll get to Gordon. Gordon's here. Okay. All right, let me knock out this break, actually. Gordon's here? Okay, let me knock out this break. We'll stay on time. We'll come back so I can maximize our time with Gordon. We'll do it next here on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. How fitting. Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys. I get to do the Gordon read literally as Gordon walked right by me. Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. I love telling you all the time about Gordon McKernan, not only because I get to talk about the way that they help injured people in our state, but I get to talk to you about Gordon McKernan and the many different ways that Gordon, his law firm, all the people involved give back to the communities they serve. As you've probably garnered the many times he's been on the show now, you can hear it, the genuine and sincere way that he loves to give back to the communities that they serve. Be it the bicycle giveaway, which is coming up here in about a month, the laptop giveaway around graduation, the NIL deals that they do, and certainly places like where we are today at Court to Table. Gordon is about giving back. His law firm, GordonGives.com. You'll see the philanthropic arm of everything they do, and we love to tell you. If you've been injured, you know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at DecisionCriticalBR.com.
All right, we're back at Court to Table, and we do have Gordon McKernan joining us here. How are you, sir?
I am. I'm tired, but good.
Well, we appreciate you making the effort and jetting around town.
I did. I was actually out of town playing in the golf tournament this morning in Texas, and flew in and then went to your studio and was sitting around, and I went to the wrong place.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. That's my bad.
It's poor communication all the way around.
No, it's not you.
We're glad to have you.
My side.
Hey, there's so much I want to cover with you, and we got a couple of segments here. I mean, the show's ending in 22 minutes, but let me start, if I could, just with your reaction to the decision to fire Brian Kelly and commit to the buyout, which I think you and I and everybody's talked about for 4 years about that massive number and how untenable that was going to be. Just reaction whenever you heard that was the decision they were going.
Yeah, well, I think it needed to happen. We were losing money either way, right? The one way we're losing money on the field with Brian Kelly and all those things. The other way we're losing money doing the buyout. But the brand was getting damaged. You could feel it, right? Being in the stadium, talking to people. He wasn't as committed. My players, at least, were telling the guys on my team, would tell me, I don't really know him. He doesn't spend time with us. So there was damage to the football brand, which then damages the LSU brand. And I think that's what happened on that Saturday night when we come in here and they came in here and just whipped us. And you're seeing empty suites, empty seats. There's no energy there. And it looked like BK didn't care. And I think he had just kind of checked out, and he's got his paycheck. And you can't have someone who's not motivated. I was telling someone the other day, Saban had to win. He couldn't lose. BK didn't have to win. It was nice if he won, right? But think about it. Think about the intensity and the difference that you see time in, time out. And that was the difference. I think everybody finally came to that conclusion, said, we can't do this any longer.
When that Sunday played out, well, go ahead. Wait, you're laughing. Now tell me.
That was a wild day. That's all I can tell you.
What was Sunday like for you? I know what it was like for me.
Yeah, I got a call from the governor that morning on something. Just, have you heard? And I'm like, no, Governor, I haven't heard that yet. And from there, just started making all my contacts and started piecing things together. The meeting, and Scott was there. And what the board say, and was he fired, not fired? It was a crazy day. And then had to be summoned up to the mansion after that, for some talks, because, Governor knows I'm a big supporter of LSU and NIL and keep my thumb pretty close to it. And it was an interesting 24 hours.
So you were, you just disclosed, so Gordon was at the meeting with the governor, with Scott Ballard. There's a handful of other folks that, if they want to be named, they can at another point. But you were there. Can you, from your perspective, describe, this was the meeting about the buyout that the governor talked about on this show a week ago.
Right.
Can you describe what you took away from those conversations?
Well, the first thing is that the governor wasn't involved in the firing, right? He didn't say, we got to go fire him, because that had already happened that morning, Scott and Coach Kelly's meeting. This was about where are we? All right, he had legal there, he had athletics there. He was just trying to get brought up to speed on where are we? What can we do? What are we going to do with the buyout? Should we buy it out now? Do we just kind of put it over there? What about our new coach? So it was very much an information gathering session, and the governor is very good at probing and asking questions and getting information back. So that's what it really was, is a question and answer. Let's assess where we are. Let's make some good decisions. And that's pretty much the overall theme of that.
Can you give us any insight into the buyout talks? Because there's been a lot of information. I asked the governor this a week ago, and he shed some light. He said, they hadn't reached an agreement. There wasn't one person who agreed to pay the whole thing. I think there had been some of that.
Yeah.
He said, in front of the show, so what? Where are things with that as best as you know?
Yeah, so any contract, right? So if I hire you, right, and I say, all right, Matt, I want to hire you for the next year to do 12 shows, and here's what I'm going to pay you. We sign it and I agree to it. And then 6 shows in, I go, well, no, it's really not working for me, but I'm going to continue to pay you every show for the next 6 months, right? I can do that, but we might come back and try to buy you out for a little less without you having to do everything. And I think that's what's being explored right now. The option to reduce the payment is still there, but the option just to pay Coach Kelly out under the next 6 years is still there as well. So they're not rushing. And I appreciate they're being very deliberate in how they're approaching this. And these coaches want that big paycheck right away. And I kind of like it. I kind of like no, we're going to take our time. We're going to figure this out. And you'll see what happens later. And that's uncertainty. And anytime in negotiations, you don't want uncertainty on your side.
It's the way I kind of compared it. It was like if you win the lottery, do you want the lump sum or the annuity?
Correct.
The lump sum's going to be less, but you get it all right now. Yeah. And that's kind of maybe where LSU is hoping that Brian Kelly would take less, but less now. Do you think that if need be, that LSU supporters could pool together that money to make the lump sum payments if they want?
It depends on how big the lump sum payment is, because I think this governor is very intentional about not rewarding mediocrity. And it bothers him at his core, as it should. He likes winners. He likes programs that win, people that win. That's who he is. So he will. I'm not saying he's going to get all involved, but that whole aspect of just a big check will give heartburn to people on the board and people in Louisiana. And I think he's very aware of that.
The other thing that is important to note, though, and John Carmouche said it last week, is that, again, this is not going to be taxpayer dollars. I think we're beyond that. We understand.
Correct.
Like everyone understands. I understand by the letter of the law what the governor was trying to say, but I think we also understand why he was going that direction. And so there's Gordon McKernan's with us on site here at Court's Table. The other part of last week's craziness was that Scott Woodward and LSU mutually agreed to part ways. How do you feel about that decision?
Yeah, I'm sad about it. I expressed my concerns to the governor on it. I think Scott Woodward's a great person, a man of integrity, a man of honor. And I think he was really good at his job. I mean, the 6 championships, the hiring of Brian Kelly, and that day during the meeting, it was reset for the governor, was not Scott Woodward alone. I mean, there was a search committee. There was multiple people involved recommending to the board. And Scott was just carrying out what the board's directive was, right? So we're down to these 3. Here's what we can do. What do you want me to do type thing? Scott, go pursue this person. So he goes and pursues and works the best deal he can, which he brings back to the board, which is a unanimous vote to hire Brian Kelly. At that time, he's the winningest coach in Notre Dame history. And everybody at that time thought it was a coup. How could we get Brian Kelly from Notre Dame, right? It just didn't work, right? It wasn't Scott's fault. In my opinion, just Brian Kelly wasn't the right guy for this place, whether it's lack of culture, lack of fit, lack of passion, whatever it was. He just wasn't. But to put this all at his feet, I think was wrong, and I've told the governor that. I respect the governor in how he sees it. They had a little headbutt, and he and Scott, he would acknowledge that. They didn't see eye to eye on several things, and I understand why he felt he had to do what he had to do. But Scott's been a 50-year friend. I love him. I care for him. Wish him nothing but the best in the next part of his life.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, because I think there's I disagree with Governor Landry as well on the Scott Woodward front. I think Scott Woodward is an outstanding athletic director, and I think removing him or parting ways is a mistake. Just my opinion. That doesn't have to be anything more than just two people disagreeing functionally on a direction for something. I do want to get your opinion on what's happened here in the last 48 hours with the new president and with Verge, who I know you've known for a long time as well. Let me grab a break so we can stay on time. We'll come back. We'll continue with Gordon. We're here at Court to Table. Gordon, of course, one of the investors here. It's his place. What a great gem. We're going to be here next week, guarantee, as we're having our quarterly meeting for Guarantee Corp here next week. So we're looking forward to that. It's an awesome spot. Come on by Court to Table. LSU Bama watch party on Saturday. They have a tailgate to go packages as well. So make sure you can order those tailgate to go, your catering packages here from Court to Table. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show with Gordon next.
AFR.
Love telling you about Glow Resources, GLO, glowresources.com. They're complete employer solutions. The way I say it, complete employer solutions, is intentional because they don't work for the employee. They're not a temp staffing agency. They're looking for permanent solutions in your business, any type of business. Doesn't matter if you're a broadcast company, a law firm, a pickleball sports bar place. If you need permanent employees, that's what Glow Resources does. And I love the fact also that their home base is right here in Baton Rouge. On Perkins Road, near Pennington, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, primarily what they serve, but they serve businesses all over the country and all over the world. Jareth Knockan's built an awesome business, and they use their net, they cast their net of resources to find you the person that's going to help make your business the most profitable and most productive it can be. It's Glow Resources. Start with that exploratory phone call at glowresources.com. GLO, glowresources.com. Complete employer solutions.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on this Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Decision Critical. Always love telling you about Blazer Rivette, the great team over at Decision Critical. Not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. Concierge nursing in the home, at the doctor's appointment, whatever it may be. You can schedule that discovery phone call. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. We're here at Court to Table on Burbank. Gordon's hanging out with us. By the way, awesome place. I know we talk about it every time, man. This is just... I hope everything. It seems like every time I'm here, it's packed. There's events. Yeah. We're in the courts today because the Funky Pickle is booked for an event. Yeah. It's just you and Ozzy and Bob and all the investors. Y'all built a beautiful thing, man. It feels like the community is responding to it.
I think so. We've seen that grow, and what I didn't at least anticipate. Maybe Ozzy did. Who, by the way, his food is what separates a lot of what we do here, right? I mean, his food's just better.
Yes.
We did a great job with the design, the layout, and the campus, but again, the food is just great.
My wife texted me, was like, "Can you bring us dinner home?" I'm like, yes.
But we didn't expect the number of event inquiries that we get. I had no idea. We get about 35 to 40 a week.
Wow.
Trying to book out a birthday party, a corporate event, want to have a firm retreat, whatever it is, Halloween, Christmas parties. I had to hire my niece, Maggie LeBlanc Gladney. Yeah. She's great. So she's awesome. Taken to it and doing great. But, it's being well received. So for the upcoming holiday season, if you want to host anything, we certainly would love to have you here and show you our hospitality and how great this place is.
I know I tell you every time, but it's phenomenal. And the other thing I would tell you, too, is if you're a parent and you're looking for something to do with your kids, where you can let your kids rip and run and burn off some energy and have a good time, and like mom and dad can have a glass of wine or beer or whatever, and if you want to play pickleball, great. If you want to just sit and watch games, great. You want to hang out. I'm excited for when the weather gets cold and you get fire pits and things outside as well.
They're out there ready.
It's going to be great. So really, I mean, it's not just lip service. Y'all really did an amazing job.
Thank
with this.
you.
I'm excited about it. So Verge Osbury just minutes ago, LSU released a letter from Verge, who's the new athletics director. First of all, you know Dr. Wade Roos. You were just telling me. I've never met him, spoken to him yet. Tell us what you can about Dr. Roos.
Yeah, well, I was fortunate enough to serve on a transition committee when Governor Landry came in, and I don't know why I was put on education. That's where they put me. And I quickly realized I was not the smartest in the room. And Scott Ballard was across the table from me, and Wade was at the other end, and those two were the smartest in the room. And I found him to be very open. I found him to be warm. I found him to be just a good guy. I mean, just a guy you'd say, yeah, I like him. And he's very, very smart. So I think LSU got a great hire. I think the governor was smart and hired him. Someone from here, from McNeese over there. I think it's a good thing. I think he's going to do a good job. Now, obviously, nothing's perfect this side of heaven, right? Yeah. And a little handoff of the baton between the board, Verge, him, however it happened. And you hate to see those things, but that's going to wash away a couple days. No one will be thinking about that. They'll be thinking about Alabama. Yeah. Did we beat them? Did we not beat them? And who's our coach?
Yeah. I think they, personally, I told you this in a break, I'll say it to our audience. If I was them, I just wouldn't have said nothing.
Yeah.
I just muzzled everything. Let the Alabama game happen as you go on with life. But I think they handled it today about as well as they could have. And the thing that I respect about what Dr. Roos did today is he just owned it.
Yeah.
Like, instead of getting into a game of semantics to try to cover work, and he's like, look, I screwed up. I should have said that better. I didn't. Verge is our guy. Let's move forward.
Yeah, and you respect that, don't you?
I do, yes. That's a tremendous amount of humility, which is a sign of a great leader.
That's what we teach our children, right?
Yes.
Anybody. When you make a mistake, just own it.
Yeah. It sucks that it happened the first full day of the job, but it's life.
That's right.
Okay, so the decision to promote Verge.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's great. Known Verge for a long time. He bleeds this school, right? Purple and gold. He's all in. He's really well respected, and your viewership may not understand how well respected he is nationally in football circles. I've had a couple of national reporters who call me from time to time, reach out, and they're like, this was a good hire. Let me tell you, the coaches and the agents of the coaches liked it, and they see there's more stability immediately. They trust Verge, and if he's recruiting them, they can believe him. So I think quickly to hire him was a great decision. I think he's going to do good things for the university. He's all in. Everybody loves him. I think it'd be great.
I agree on all those sentiments. It's almost sometimes I think the tendency is let's go have a big national search. Sometimes the right answer is there.
Right.
Like sometimes the obvious choice is the obvious choice for a reason.
Yes.
Okay, so now Verge will hire a football coach. Are you going to have any I know he's named his committee. Are you going to have any say-so involvement?
No, I'm not involved. I like to be aware, but I'm not involved, and I don't call up and bother them and go, who are you down to and those things. I generally know the generalities, that the search has shrunk down to a few people now. They're honing in on their targets, from what I understand.
All right.
So
who are those few people?
You know what? You won't believe me when I say this. I don't even ask that because I don't want to know that. I don't. I just want to. How's it going? Is there anything I can do? Do you need any help from me? And they don't. But I just want to be available for them and tell them, hey, keep doing it. Do a great job. Try to encourage them. Yeah, but it's narrowing.
That's
quickly.
That's the role is be supportive. In what way you can lend support.
So the big question, and you know this, but your audience is, what do you do if you're pursuing a playoff-bound coach?
So I asked Verge that on Tuesday on my show. And I said, would you wait? Right? Because the complicating factor is December 3rd. 3rd through 5th is the early signing period. Right. And January the 3rd is the portal. And you have one portal window.
That's right.
So you hire a coach that makes the playoff and misses both those. He's inheriting a team that and then, by the way, how do you go sign a team?
Yes.
I mean, that's where if Frank Wilson doesn't get the job, he is paramount to your success
That's
next
right.
year.
No doubt.
Like, he has to be back.
That's right.
Because he is the guy that will build your roster for you.
Yeah.
He and Austin Thomas, but they both have to be back.
And I think everybody knows those two guys from this present staff have to be. I think from the board to everybody's in agreement with that. In the new coach, I'm sure we'll see that. But what do you do? And I don't even know contractually how you do that, because let's say, Coach A, who's going to go into the playoffs, how can he even accept the offer and sign the contract, because he's got duties on the present contract to notify them? So he can't sign the contract to come work for LSU. Then he goes on a big run and gets deep into it and then changes his mind. Says, well, I'm not going to come to you anymore.
Wink, wink, handshake. But you wouldn't have a guarantee. You're right.
No, you can't.
Well, think about Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer coached Washington to the national championship game and then left for Alabama.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly, when he took the LSU job, his team was, in theory, still in the mix for the playoff. But I think we knew that they were going to be just – that was a 14 play. They were going to be just on the outside looking in. We got a minute. Do you have a preference on a coach, either a name or criteria, qualifications?
I'm like one of those schoolgirls looking at Taylor Swift with her new songs and stuff.
Or my wife.
Yeah, or nobody can quit singing the song. It's everywhere now. I kind of get caught up in the Lane Kiffin thing and just go, wow. What would that be like?
Yeah.
Just the whole show, the energy, the play calling, all of it. It would just be, I can't use the word, though. It could be a blank show or it could be just the show, right? You don't know, but man.
Please don't say.
I can't say that, the blank show or the show, but it would be, just when you watch the guy, there's just something different. He relates to the present culture of athletes, right? Yeah. He's the master on social media. He can recruit. He can obviously call. People want to go play for him right now. He's dynamic, all those things. And watching a little show, and apparently he's kind of cleaned up his life. Yeah. He quit drinking. He's more spiritual, some of those things that I respect. So that's kind of where I fall, but, not my money.
It might be something.
It might be.
Oh, man. It might be your money. Gordon McKernan, thank you, man. Thank you very much for your time.
Always loved having
as always.
time with you.
It's our pleasure, and thanks for having us here as well at Court to Table. It's After Further Review. Muse, Paulie back in studio. We appreciate Alondra on site, always doing a phenomenal job. If you miss anything from today, AFR On Demand, presented by Breck Golf. You can get a podcast or YouTube. Y'all have an awesome night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
After Further Review.
Arco Power Systems, arco.com, ARCCO, arco.com. When we talk about Arco, we're talking about standby generator power, but not for your home. This is for a place like Court's Table, big industrial or commercial buildings. Think about storm comes, power goes out. What does that mean for your business? Well, Arco Power Systems services those businesses to make sure that you have standby generator power. Turnkey solutions. They can sell, they can rent, and they can service your standby generator power. It's Arco Power Systems. By the way, it's a massive company. They got an office in Little Rock, Mobile, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, Austin, and all over Louisiana. So if you're a business owner in any of that giant footprint, arco.com, ARCCO, ARCCO. It's arco.com for Arco Power Systems.